Yo, what's up guys? You got pokeaimMD here. Today we have another Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl moveset video guide on how to use both SCIZOR and Weavile. These are two very popular Pokemon and a lot of people have been asking about them. And even though some people know how to use them, I figured I'd cover them both in one video. So I'll be doing this for Pokemon that I think are more common but people definitely want to see. So I'll be combining them. And then others, I'll be doing them in solo videos. But if you guys do enjoy these moveset video guides, I have a bunch on the channel. Make sure you leave a like. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. I'm on my way to 300k, that's my end of next year goal, and I'm uploading 2 to 3 times a day Pokemon content. So if you like Pokemon content, feel free to subscribe. So we're going to cover Weavile first, and then we'll get into SCIZOR. The first set of Weavile we have is Choice Band. Now Weavile is known for its very high base speed at base 125, and pretty high attack at base 120. Now, while this game did get rid of knockoff for it, at least at the moment, it does still have access to Ice Shard and Icicle Crash. Both of which are very strong for Weavile. One is priority, allowing it to deal with dragons that even have Dragon Dance up. The other is just a very strong ice move. You're always going to want Ice Shard and Icicle Crash on your Weavile. Now, you don't have access to knockoff, which is just a good move because it gets rid of the opponent's item and it even gets stronger when you get rid of their item. You do have access to Throat Chop. Now, Throat Chop is really interesting because it's still strong enough to basically be consistent, right? It's 80 base power, whereas knockoff is 65 or 97.5, depending on if you're knocking off the item or not. But Throat Chop is only 80 base power, but it's pretty consistent at 80 base power, so it's more consistent than knockoff, and it allows you to 2-hit KO special defensive SCIZOR, and it's just a strong move in general. Dark is just a strong move, especially because Steel no longer resists it, which is something that Steel did resist back during Gen 4. So Steel doesn't resist it. So that's like a really, really spammable move and doesn't miss. It even has the added effect of the target can't use sound moves. So moves like Sleep Talk, moves like Bug Buzz, when you go for it, they can't use it for 2 turns. So it's pretty cool for like, if you have a Yanmega out versus you and you go for Throat Chop, if you don't want to risk Icicle Crash or you're locked in the Throat Chop, you can stop them from clicking Bug Buzz. Now the last move is up to you. Brick Break gives you a more consistent, less conditional move where it allows you to knock out opposing Weavile. Otherwise, it resists your other 3 attacks. It also hits Crawdaunt really hard too, which also resists your other 3 attacks. However, if you want a stronger move that also requires some prediction, you can use Focus Punch. Focus Punch is nice for something coming in like maybe Empoleon on the Switch or a SCIZOR. If a SCIZOR is at like 60-something%, it can take a Throat Chop from Choice Band Weavile, depending on the EV spread. And then if you have taken a little bit of chip, it can get knocked out, or it can knock you out with Bullet Punch. But if they're at like 67%, you can actually go for that Choice Band Focus Punch on the Switch into SCIZOR, and you can knock them out. So it really is up to you. I think Brick Break is a lot more consistent because it doesn't have any conditions, and it also gets rid of dual screens, Light Screen, and Reflect. Now, Swords Dance Weavile is the next set, and instead of, the outright power of Choice Band, it's still good because you can switch up moves, right? And Icicle Crash, Throat Chop, and Ice Shard are always good moves. And then you have Swords Dance just to boost your attack stat. Of course, you have that priority move, Ice Shard, always. The preferred item is Life Orb. However, I will give a slash for like something like Icicle Plate or Never Melt Ice. Just things that can boost your ice type attacks. They can help you in the difference with KOing like a Tangrowth or whatnot. But I mean, Life Orb will do the exact same thing with +2 Life Orb and Stealth Rock. So that's just something to note about Weavile. For the most part, you're always going to go Jolly, max speed, max attack, 4 special defense just because it's your higher one out of the defense. One thing to note about Weavile is that at full HP, a defensive SCIZOR does not knock you out with Bullet Punch from full. So it's pretty cool because you're in certain situations where you can actually do massive damage to them back before or after they bullet punch you. So that's, I think, a really cool thing. You could make a case for Adamant Weavile. I don't think it's possible at the moment, though, just because Alakazam and Latios are everywhere. Obviously, Latios, you'd still have a strong Ice Shard versus, even though you're 1 point slower if you go Adamant. But I think Alakazam is so much of a threat that you always want to go Jolly Weavile. That way you can outspeed it and knock it out or bring it down to its sash with Throat Chop. But that's basically all I have for Weavile. It's just a fantastic Pokemon. Appreciate Spike and Stealth Rock support. Weavile Magnezone is really good together because they basically get rid of the 2 Pokemon that Weavile doesn't like very much, being Skarmory and SCIZOR. So Magnezone could do that with its Magnet Pull ability. And yeah, Weavile is just a fantastic Pokemon, so I encourage you to check it out. So next up, we have SCIZOR. Now, we have a few sets of SCIZOR. The first set is the Max Special Defense Defog set. Now, SCIZOR is a fantastic defogger because not only is it immune to Toxic Spikes, but it is one of the few Pokemon in the tier that can switch in on Latios consistently, right? It's not 2-hit KO'd if it's max special defense, max HP by Surf, Thunderbolt, Draco Meteor, Psychic, whatever. Latios doesn't currently have Mystical Fire in this game. It has it in Sword and Shield, but not in this game yet, until Pokemon Home probably. So Scizor is a fantastic defogger, being able to get rid of hazards, but also providing U-turn support for your team. That's the main reason you use Scizor. You want to check to Alakazam, use Special Defense of Scizor. You want a check to Latios, use Scizor. You want to check to Mamoswine, use Scizor. You want to check to Weavile, use Scizor. So a Bullet Punch, Roost, and U-turn are a given on basically any support Scizor set. Roost is your way of living, your longevity, right? It's your healing move. Leftovers, almost always preferred. Bullet Punch is your priority, obviously. U-turn gives you the momentum and also lets you do super effective damage to stuff like Latios anyway. And just max HP, max switch defense for defense. I have another spread for this, but we'll go over it in a second. So, as you can see, I have Defog and Swords Dance Slash. I think the special defensive set, the full special defensive set, should almost always be Defog because it has a lot of opportunities to do so, and even though it has to roost most of the time, it can defog on basically all the rockers very easily, like Stealth Rock Gliscor can defog on, it can defog on Skarmory very easily, just because Scizor is just a really bulky Pokemon, and it gets to come in on multiple Pokemon. So, if you want to use Swords Dance, though, you can use it. However, I have it Slash there again. But if you're going to use Swords Dance, I think that Scizor should run some defense if you're using Swords Dance. And I'll explain in a second as we go over to the set. Basically the same thing, but I swapped Swords Dance and Defog and the EV spread. So the last one was Careful Scizor. This one is Impish. The idea behind Impish Scizor is with max HP, 156 defense with an Impish nature, which is plus defense minus special attack. You are not 2-hit KO'd by Choice Band Weavile's Throat Chop. You are not 2-hit KO'd by Garchomp's Earthquake. So it just gives you this opportunity to set up a little bit easier, especially because Garchomp doesn't die to +2 Bullet Punch anyway. So if it's going to Earthquake you, you have 2 chances to set up Swords Dances if you really want to. Whereas you still have the special defense to be able to take a Draco Meteor, 2 Draco Meteors from Latios, 2 Psychics, Surfs, and whatnot. You can still take them. This one is just a little bit worse versus Life Orb Alakazam because the other one at full HP will always live. A +2 Life Orb Focus Blast from Alakazam, whereas this one gets absolutely nuked by +2 Life Orb Focus Blast, or by 2 Focus Blasts anyway. So you have to really be careful. The other one's just a little bit better than that one. But this one is better at Swords Dancing and setting up on Mamoswine, setting up on Gliscor, setting up on Latios, setting up on Weaviles. It just has the defense to be able to take those physical hits a little bit better. But of course, if you don't want to use Swords Dance, you can use Defog on it as well. The next set is the offensive Scizor set. Now, even though Pokemon Home isn't out and Scizor doesn't have access to Superpower right now, doesn't have access to Knockoff, doesn't have access to quite a few moves actually that Scizor loves to run, it can still use a Swords Dance offensive set. So the set is Swords Dance, obviously. Bullet Punch is going to be on every single Scizor, no matter what. Shoot, even a Scarf Scizor will run Bullet Punch if you ever wanted to run a Scarf Scizor. Because Scarf Scizor isn't a thing right now because there's New Pursuit, but the set, I'll just tell you just for a little bit of history's sake, but the set used to be U-Turn, Iron Head, Pursuit, and then Superpower, but you could also put Bullet Punch over Iron Head if you wanted to, just because it was a good priority. And the idea behind it was to trap like Lotties and whatnot back in the day. But you're going to go adamant on this one, max attack with a Life Orb because you want that added power when you go for Swords Dance boost. So you have Brick Break. Brick Break is basically there as a means of dealing with opposing Scizor because at +2 you do 64%. So you can actually KO opposing Scizor with +2 Brick Break into Bullet Punch with Stealth Rock damage. So that's pretty cool. Even defensive Scizor will go down to +2 Brick Break +2 Bullet Punch, and you'll be faster than them because you're running max attack, max speed. The speed also helps you outspeed like defensive Heatrans, which is why you have Brick Break. Though I like this set on Sticky Web too, just because it's so good as a Latios and an Alakazam check on Sticky Web, as well as a Heatran answer on Sticky Web, just because it's an offensive one. And then the last move is either Quick Attack or Roost. I think you can make an argument for X Scizor here if you want to be able to beat something like Slowbro. I don't have it Slash, but X Scizor is definitely something you could make an argument for if your team is weak to Slowbro. For instance, and Tangrowth, it's something that could deal with them. So I definitely would Slash it next to one of these. I just didn't put it. But now that I've used it as well. I just was trying to remember the targets that I used for it. So I don't like to put things that I don't use or I don't remember why I used it. So, but Quick Attack is there because it does 99% to Infernape. So if Stealth Rock are up at +2, you will guarantee knockout Infernape. And this is cool because it does resist Bullet Punch. Also really strong versus offensive Starmie. With Stealth Rock up, +2 Quick Attack KOs offensive Starmie. Gives you a stronger hit versus Manaphy. Gives you a strong priority move versus Crawdon, taking like 60% from +2 Quick Attack. So just a nice little move like that for the mons that do resist the Bullet Punch. You can also go Roost if you want for the longevity because Swords Dance, Bullet Punch, Brick Break Roost is pretty decent coverage, besides, like I said, Slowbro. So you can roost off the damage if you really want to, and allow you to get more SDs. But this one is kind of more like a late gamer, just a mid-game breaker. Not really a Pokemon that's supposed to survive, but just get up a Sword Dance and hopefully sweep. And the last set we have is Choice Band. Now, Choice Band isn't as good right now because, again, it's lacking Sewer Power, it's lacking Knockoff. So it's still decent, though, because Bullet Punch is still a strong priority move. So, again, Bullet Punch and U-Turn guaranteed. The idea behind the set is you bring it in and you pick off something with your strong priority Bullet Punch, doing like 60% plus to Salamence. You know, you're doing like 50% to Dragonite plus type of thing. So, as long as Multiscale is broken. Just so it's like a strong priority Pokemon if you want that. We have Brick Break here as it gives you a means of dealing with opposing Steel types, such as Heatran, being a nice 2-hit KO, doing a lot of damage to Heatran as well. And then your last move is either Quick Attack or Thief. Thief is boosted by your Technician ability. All Scythe, I should have said that at the beginning, but all Scizors, excuse me, should be Technician for the most part, unless you're using like a Agility Baton Pass something. But I didn't even mention Baton Pass here. But yeah, so all Scizors should be, for the most part, Technician. But you have the Quick Attack, again, giving you a strong move to 2-hit KO Infernape if it wants to come in on you. Though Bullet Punch is just shy of being a 2-hit KO on Infernape, so a little bit of hazard damage you 2-hit KO it. And then you have Thief, because Thief is 90 base power due to your Technician. If you do manage to get knocked off by maybe a Tangrowth, you can steal their leftovers, you can steal something's item. But also because it's 90 base power boosted by Technician, it gives you a pretty strong move versus something like... it gives you a strong move versus something like Jirachi, for instance. So it's just another option if you really want to use it. Again, it's 90 base power. It's pretty spammable too. But that's basically all I have for you guys for Scizor and Weavile. So hope you guys all enjoyed. I know you guys, these are like really popular Pokemon. Scizor is the #1 most used Pokemon in Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl OU, whereas Weavile is in the top 20, top 25. So, both fantastic Pokemon. I wanted to cover them because they're both very common. I'll have a Showdown Live later today. I don't know if I'll be featuring these guys because I use them all the time, but I'll be featuring something else as well as hopefully a Wi-Fi battle later today as well. So, I will see you guys. Thank you very much for watching. Feel free to subscribe. If you guys want to pre-order Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, or, well, pre-order. If you guys want to pre-order Pokemon Legends Arceus or pick up Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, you can. I have a Best Buy affiliate link down below, and I'll see ya. Peace.